But unfortunately, we're going to take it for a little drive and watch that range as we go down the road, currently at 76 miles. So the big issue with these cars is battery degradation. What we're faced with is 10 years in, these electric cars are junk. They're just dead. And as we pull up, it is showing only 61 miles of range. 61 miles. I drove it maybe 5 miles. So that's what you found is...
It needs a battery pack, yeah.
Welcome to Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube, and this is the future of electric cars right here. A 2014 Fiat 500e that is mechanically totaled and ruined after barely 10 years and 43,000 miles on the odometer. But I bought it for only $700, thinking it would be a very easy fix based on what I saw on the screen with the online auction, but I bought it from 1,000 miles away, so it cost another $1,000 to get it here, and discover that it is, yes, indeed, very, very, very dead, despite being in fantastic condition otherwise. Basically looks like a brand new car. And in my humble opinion, as more electric cars get on the road today, we're going to see more and more of this. Beautiful vehicles that look like they're in great shape, but they're completely ruined because of battery degradation or issues that just aren't fixable, and independent shops aren't going to want to touch it. And this one, being an early electric car, or now 10 years old, is just showing what the current crop is probably going to do. But that doesn't mean that I'm anti-EV, because gasoline-powered cars of this era are showing how horribly unreliable and not durable they are as well. So really it's a no-win scenario. But today we're going to cover that with the car wizard, what he tried to fix. An $80 part was supposed to bring this to life, and it did fix some things, but not the big thing. And also we're going to check on the car ninja who's completed a car that you all thought I ruined, my 911 Turbo, and hopefully we'll find a parts car for the Audi TT. But before we get into things, I would like to thank Policy Genius for sponsoring today's video. Policy Genius has been a sponsor of Hoovie's Garage for many years now, and I've heard a lot of good feedback from viewers that saved a lot of money and they were well taken care of with Policy Genius on their insurance needs, and it's so easy to check out for yourself. As a father of 2 kids, I obviously can't just leave them with a bunch of debt and a pile of hoopties if the car wizard were to cut my brakes after I didn't pay a bill. But seriously, one thing you shouldn't skimp on is life insurance. Policy Genius helps you compare your options from America's top insurance companies in just a few clicks, and their team of licensed experts is on hand to help talk you through it. Even if you do have insurance, it may not be enough, as work-provided life insurance policies may not be enough of what your family needs should you pass on unexpectedly. Even worse, it may not come with you if you leave your job. And Policy Genius handles every step of the way, including all the paperwork, and has thousands of 5-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google from happy customers. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 a month for $1 million of coverage, and some options are 100% online and let you avoid unnecessary medical exams. So check life insurance off your to-do list in no time with Policy Genius. Head to policygenius.com/HooviesGarage or click the link in the description to get multiple life insurance quotes for free and see how much money you could save. Man, I really wanted this one to work out, because when they came out, I thought it was so cool, but I figured since it was $700 and it was dumped at Carvana and sold by them at auction, that something pretty bad was going on, or somebody was just sick of it. But the error originally, it said service propulsion system, and the battery showed a charge. So I didn't think there was a battery issue. I thought there was some electrical problem or a drive motor, something that would be very easy to fix. And all the parts are very cheap, because there are quite a few of these in the junkyard. So I was hopeful, because it is a really cool little rig. I had an Abarth and really liked that, but unfortunately the multi-air turbo engines struggle to make it to 100,000 miles themselves because of all their problems. The gasoline Fiats aren't much better than the electric ones, but that's the same with most automakers. But key differences, you can see the grille is flat. They do have an inlet for a radiator there, but a lot more thought goes into aero on these E's. You can see the flat here hubcaps, the wheel covers, and the aerodynamics to get the most efficiency and the most range, which originally, when new, it was about 90 miles of range. So not a lot, a little bitty car, sort of like a Nissan Leaf with a short range, really a city car, which is just fine. Not every electric car needs to have 200 to 400 miles of range. If you're just driving it to work a few miles and not really taking it out of town, why not? And that's why the new Fiat 500e has come back for this year. They're available. They're very expensive though. I think $30,000 starting out, which Model 3 or a Model Y isn't much more. So that'd be kind of tough, because these Fiats, they are very small. So the back seat is folded up on this one. You can see the cargo area. Not much to work with, but when you fold it down, there is some practicality. And you do get that retro Italian flair, which I do like a lot. The inside, you can see leather and the paint matched dashboard. And this one is super, super clean. It's just such a shame because, yeah, when you drive it, well, all the problems become very apparent. I'll let the car wizard get into things when we drive this in a little bit as far as what we thought the easy fix was, but you can see there are no warning lights on currently at all. It's showing a nice range, currently 76 miles of range. It showed up completely bricked and dead. They were able to jump off the 12 volt, the normal car battery, and charge that up, charged up the car battery, and it moved. So we were off to a good start because they said in the disclosures that it wouldn't even go into gear, and as you can see, it goes into gear, it moves just fine. So yeah, we have cold air, heated seats, the radio, everything working in this car. Great pickup and power too. It chirped the wheels a little bit. But unfortunately, we're going to take it for a little drive and watch that range as we go down the road, currently at 76 miles. So the big issue with these cars that I didn't know was as big of a problem as it is battery degradation. It's certainly a huge thing to think about with the older Nissan Leafs, where they start out with 70 miles of range and then barely have 20 because the battery's so degraded. Teslas, you don't see so much battery degradation per se, but they just have dramatic failures where all of a sudden the range is dramatically gone, like less than 50, because they detect a problem and that has to be rebuilt. And with all of these, what happens after 10 years? Say you buy a Tesla for 50 grand, you buy one of these for 30 grand. You notice your battery's not doing very well, so you take it to the dealer and say, hey, what's going on with my battery? I'm a 10-year-old car that's just out of warranty. And they say, oh yes, Mr. Customer, your battery has failed and that'll be $20,000 to fix on a car that's worth $5,000 or $10,000. In the case of a Tesla, it completely totals out a car that Elon Musk said would never ever depreciate. But people paying $60,000, $80,000 for those new are left with a brick that they dump at auction for $5,000 to $10,000. In the case of this Fiat, they dumped it at auction for $700. I imagine Carvana bought it for less. After the dealer gave them a price on a battery replacement, they just completely blew them out of the water. So you can see we've gone a mile and we've used about 5 miles of range. It is dropping like a stone, which is a shame because otherwise this thing does drive fantastically. Now, the battery packs can be repaired. You can upgrade them, but on the case of this Fiat, it totals it out mechanically as well. And there's very, very few shops that are willing to drop out a battery and go through it and replace the dead cells. And even if they do that, it's a temporary fix because they're 10-year-old cells, so eventually other cells will go bad and it'll be a constant game of whack-a-mole to where you're constantly dropping the battery pack out, which is a very time-consuming, labor-intensive thing to do. So what we're faced with is 10 years in, these electric cars are junk. They're just dead. Still pulls really, really hard though. We as a society have sort of gotten used to cars lasting 20-ish years, 200-ish thousand miles, give or take. Some automakers doing better like Toyota, some doing a lot worse, but nowadays that's really not the case. So people will buy these electric cars, see massive depreciation because of this reality, and then at the end, the second or third owner, the end user, really ends up stuck because they have a car that's completely junked. But that's the same case with the Fiat 500 Abarth with the multi-air injection engines that fail spectacularly as well at 70, 80, 90,000 miles. Those will blow up, so you can't win there. And it's the same with so many other internal combustion engines nowadays that are sort of engineered to fail. They're high-strung turbocharged engines that just don't last. So automakers to make fuel-efficient gasoline cars are not building anything to last anymore. And the electric cars, they're just toaster throwaway appliances as well. So there's really no winning. Basically, the only way to win would be to go and buy something a little bit older, but then you're dealing with age-related issues. Like on my 2005 Escalade, a piece of trim just randomly fell off because it's 20 years old. Even the absolute battleships of like 90s and mid-2000s Toyota Camrys and that kind of stuff, they're getting weather-worn. They're getting just worn out by age, so you really can't win with that either. So as a whole, we're completely screwed. I've been struggling so much lately buying complete junk from auction, hoping one will actually strike and be okay. So yeah, the fate on this Fiat, it's kind of sealed. It is screwed, but the car wizard did try. So let's talk to him about what he tried to do to fix it, because initially it was like a $700 car that I thought an $80 part was going to fix. And as we pull up, it is showing only 61 miles of range. 61 miles. I drove it maybe 5 miles. All right, here we are. And the wizard is... Wizard. Hello.
Oh, hi.
What are you doing?
This is my bailiff. This is the sort of Kalis. I'm practicing my Klingon skills.
Oh, you're Klingon backlift.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Backlift.
hopefully you're not going to impale me with a steering... Is that a steering rack? What is this?
This is a steering linkage out of the Bravada.
Okay, yeah, well, the only place in the world where you see a Ferrari 355, a Lamborghini Gallardo, and an Oldsmobile Bravada. What is an Oldsmobile Bravada? I haven't seen one up close in years. I mean, this one's... Whoa, this one's pretty clean.
Yeah, it's actually very nice. We're putting a bunch of work into it and resealing things and making it.
Good old 4.3.
Yes.
The intake's leaking.
It's not actually on this one.
It's a miracle.
Yeah.
Well, there's not much to leak on this Fiat 500e.
Not really.
The only thing it is leaking is battery power and fast. So you kind of jumped the gun on me. You've already had it in. You've already looked at it. We were hoping it was going to be this $80 part. It was what, a humidity sensor?
Yeah, humidity sensor on a lot of these can go bad, and it just creates it wreaks havoc on the car. All kinds of things go bad.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't want to be chasing our tails and end up finding it was just that $80 sensor.
Right.
We put that in, and the warnings are gone, but I'm sure as you saw, the battery range goes down really fast.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's why I bought it. I thought it had the error light for the propulsion system and other stuff, but the battery was showing a charge. And I thought, oh, it's 40,000 miles on it. It's barely 10 years old. The battery's probably fine. No. So that's what you found is...
It needs a battery pack, yeah.
Basically 30 miles, 40 miles maybe max of range if you're really easy on it. Far from the 100, 120 that it originally had. So, yeah, rebuild costs are not feasible, right?
Yeah, if you took it to the dealer, it could be 15, 20 grand for them to rebuild it or redo it. And there is an outfit that's doing an upgrade to the newer model batteries, still like $7,500.
$7,500 to replace the battery pack, which is mechanically totaling this car that has 40,000 miles. That's barely 10 years old, and it is destined for the junkyard. But did you notice any other problems other than the battery after the switch?
No, not really. Everything else works fine. The AC, the heat. I mean, you open the hood, it's obviously not what you're looking for the gas engine.
No gas engine, no A-bar turbo or any of that kind of stuff, just a plastic cover and, well, there's a normal battery right there.
Yeah, it runs the 12-volt systems, and it's happy. We charged it, but it's the main battery for the whole car is bad.
Yeah, so what do you think this big book is?
Some sort of inverter or something.
Yeah, looks like it has coolant going through it.
Yep, it's liquid coolant.
Mm-hmm. And a ECU over there of some kind.
Yep.
I guess it's not an engine, whatever it is, just a computer, right?
Mm-hmm. And then some more electronics, relay box, a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah.
There's a couple different coolant reservoirs over there.
Yeah, one says oat coolant, and the other one...
Doesn't say anything.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, the AC blows cold. It drives really tight. It's in nice condition. I thought, okay, for once, I'm going to get this awesome deal. $700, fix it with a little $80 part, and it's going down the road, which I suppose it is, but it's screwed.
It is. It really is. And even if you took the $7,500 route, it's worth more than the whole car, almost double.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, so I guess I'm junking a Fiat.
well, you do have some bills that you owe me. Maybe we can work a trade.
Well, what are you going to do with it?
I don't know yet. I'm going to practice. I've not gone into the EV world. I'm going to pull the battery out and see if I can swap out the bad cells for good ones. Or I wouldn't be something I would do for a customer because it's so risky.
Because it could completely go wrong and the car's bricked, and then
Yeah.
you'd have to buy a $7,000 battery
Right.
for someone. So that's why a lot of shops are scared to even touch these things. It's dealer only, and they're just screwed, or just replacing the battery entirely.
Right.
So, but they are just, I mean, little cells and stuff that you can balance out and replace. We did it years ago with the Prius. And
Yeah, it worked.
it went fine, but yeah, that is the future. And I don't know if that's the car wizard's future, I suppose,
I
right?
don't think I'll get into them as far as servicing them for people, but I would like to learn a little bit and just kind of see what it's like, see if I have success.
Okay. Well, I did spend like $1,000 to ship it here.
How about $2,000?
I'm gonna make money. I'm making
Yeah.
money. Well, what? Okay. Well, that actually frees me up to go and get maybe a parts car for this Audi. There is one that I am gonna go look at. So, yeah, the Audi TT with your $2,900 estimate. Hoping to shave that down if I'm able to source a lot of parts from it. So, yeah, that's next on the list. Then also, the Car Ninja has my Porsche fixed.
Oh, good.
That was a very stupid thing, but yeah, I guess have fun with the Fiat.
Yeah, I'm going to see what I can do with it. Start pulling the battery out and pull it apart. And if you get a parts car for this, that would be great. It would really save a lot of money. We could swap over what we need to make this one a driver and
Okay.
do whatever with the leftovers.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. Thanks, Wizard.
No problem.
Oh yeah, it even got cleaned up a little bit. Ninja, did you wash the Porsche?
Oh God.
You weren't supposed to wash the Porsche.
Well, if you want it fixed, I mean, there was not.
I suppose so. Yeah, that was.
You know, it took longer to wash it.
Yeah.
And then I had to wash my parking lot.
I'm sorry. I am very sorry. And I know the bad news was the engine had to come out to get to that duct and everything.
You cannot even see the clamp at all.
Bummer. Was it very hard? I don't think it's that hard though on those.
Well, it's not, but still, although we power washed it, still we couldn't clean everything, so it was a mess. It was much easier to go back. We power washed the engine again once it was outside.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So it is spotless now.
Okay, so it's good to go. I assume that's why it's out front.
Yes.
Nice. All right. Well, bills I think have been stacking up. Yeah. You feel bad for me. Wizard's laughing and giggling, and you make a face of empathy.
Yeah. Also, how is the G55?
Oh yeah. Pick that up. It's fine. Yeah, the 740's been wonderful. So.
Oh, that 740 will go forever.
It just hit me. So what do we got?
Well, you don't want to go over one by one?
Oh, go ahead. Sure.
Used engine.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much we paid for it.
It was cheap, right? It was a really good deal.
$2,100.
Whoa. Okay.
It looked from like Titanic.
Right. But it's working
The guy
fine.
who sold it to me, he swore, and it had like 80-some thousand miles.
Mm-hmm.
It's working great.
Yeah. So you had to swap over the supercharger and
Yes. And
lots
yes,
of.
Yes.
Grand total $6,441 to get an engine that's not drinking as much oil as gas.
Now we got the 740.
Uh-huh.
We had to add a few more things from the estimate. We had to add the motor mounts, the oxygen sensor, and the thermostat.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit more than what I priced you initially. But not by much.
Okay.
Not by much.
Yeah.
I promise you.
$2,507. Okay. I realized this was going to be an expensive trip, but I didn't realize how expensive. Okay. And then the 911 Turbo with the ducting, right?
Yeah, that's...
And the cleaning.
I got mixed up. So this is part of the 740.
Oh.
So
Oh, okay. Oh, mixed up.
this is your Porsche, I'm sorry.
Oh.
This is your 740.
Ah, okay. I didn't read. So yes, 2507 for the Porsche. Okay,
Because we had to drop the engine.
Drop the engine out, yeah. That's the 740.
740.
2278, so pretty darn close. There was a lot of little things to do on the BMW.
But we did not have them on the initial estimate. So.
That might be the cheapest in and out of a 996 Turbo ever. So that's very generous of you, but still, my little trip off-roading cost me a sale, and it cost me $2,500. And I know, I'm an idiot. You don't have to say it. Well, you can say in the comments if you want, but yeah, I'm a total idiot. So that's almost $12,000 right there to the Car Ninja. Okay, no lights. That's good. Whoa. She's back. Oh man, God, that's crazy. With a Tiptronic, it just never stops pulling, even though the shifts are pretty lazy with that slush box automatic. This is the closest thing you can get to an exotic driving experience for the money, the 996 Turbo. And I'm not just saying that because it's for sale. To recap, I bought this thing. It was an ex-Las Vegas rental, 146,000 miles, and I thought it would be the perfect car to do a safari conversion because the 911 Dakar had just come out, and do it on a budget. And well, it wasn't that much of a cheap budget because $20,000 or so for the parts, another $5,000 to install. On a car I paid $24,000 for. So yeah, $50,000 or a little more worth repairs into it. And yeah, only went like 35 grand. That's probably all this thing is worth. Oh, and my smooth brain just forgot the $2,500 bill from the Car Ninja. So yeah, a massive loss, and to make it worse, I did have a buyer for it and decided to take it off-road. I had his blessing and permission to deliver it to him dirty, fresh after off-roading, but yeah, messing up the inlet pipe, crushing it. Thankfully, no water getting into the turbo or the engine. It is still very, very happy. What? Just wild. But certainly that was one of my dumber moments among many. So thankfully I can get this car sold, get the G55 sold to offset those bills from the Ninja and have a little bit of money in my pocket. I need to get home before I do something stupid. And yes, I did find a parts car for the Audi TT. Went out there and then completely forgot to film. But yeah, it's in a junkyard. The motor's gone, but it has everything else that I need. So yes, the Audi TT will live again on reasonable terms, I hope. Thank you so much for watching.